Hello guys, Calvin Russell here, co-owner of Park Place Realty. Today we're going to talk about the 5 things you need to ask yourself when you are considering a home. All right, let's go straight into it. Number 1 is going to be the payment. I know a lot of people, sometimes end up missing this, and we'll kind of talk about another piece of that payment a little bit later. But you got to look at the overall payment of the property. Why is that most important? Well, duh, because you got to be able to afford it. Okay, this is something that you're going to be paying every single month, and this may end up being actually a little bit more than what you are paying for your monthly rent. So the monthly payment is going to play a key role inside of the property. You may have to change the area, you may have to change, the school district or whatever, but you got to make sure that you're able to afford the monthly payment. All right, guys, so the next thing you want to ask yourself is going to be, is this the right area? All right. And what I mean by area, we're not just talking about the loudness of the area. Just because it's more quiet than what you're used to doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make the most sense for you. Okay. What's the walking distance if you guys have kids that's going to be going to school, right? Or is that drivable for you? How close is it to expressways? Do you want to be next to a busy street? Do you want to back out into a busy street? Do you share a driveway? All this is going to play a major role. Sometimes, people don't like to see certain things out on the front of people's yards, cars that are sitting there or whatever the case may be. So make sure you guys are paying attention to the area. You can do this by driving around the area during the evening times. So just checking out the area, as you're considering that home. Now, of course, the market is, moving kind of swiftly. So you may not have enough time to complete all of it. But if you see a house, you like a house, make sure you kind of drive around the area to get a feel for it if you can, either, in the morning time, the afternoon time, or even the evening time as well. But before you make that final decision, you want to make sure that you're able to at least look at every single piece of the area that you can. All right, guys, the next thing you want to ask yourself is going to be move-in readiness. Okay, so move-in readiness is essentially what it sounds like, right? How move-in ready is the property? That means as soon as you actually move in, what things do you have to do in order to make the property livable? Okay, do you have to make any major repairs? Do you have to buy anything, right? Like, for example, this particular property, as you can see, the countertops have been redone. You got updated backsplash. You got an updated sink. So everything in this property has been done except for the basement. All right. So as you guys can see, this particular home, it does not have a finished basement. That means you're gonna have to come in and start doing work immediately if you want to have access to the basement. Now, here's the deal. Obviously, you could use this basement for any type of purpose that you want. The fact that it has not been completed, you obviously could just do it whatever time you want to do it. However, the price must reflect that the basement is not finished. Typically, when the basement's not finished, you're usually going to see a $20,000 to $30,000 difference. However, it's going to cost you somewhere between 10 to 15, maybe even 20,000, depending on how you want to get the basement done. So you must consider all of that if you are considering a property and this move-in readiness. Clearly, you got to get this basement done. Next that you want to ask yourself before considering a home is going to be the taxes, okay? So in Illinois, we know taxes can get crazy depending on the area that you're living in. So right now we're in the south suburbs. South suburbs are going to be known for having taxes. They're going to be at, on average, about $6,500 to $7,500, with the low average being about $5,000 to the high average being is about $9,000. There are some properties that can go higher, and there are some properties that could be potentially lower. Keep an eye on the lower taxes, not because they're low, but mainly because there's reasons why they are low. You have to look at the exemptions. Sometimes properties will have $1,500 in taxes, $2,500 in taxes, anything that's under $5,000, you must question, because the taxes they could have exemptions that you may not be able to take advantage of, okay? And that's usually the case anytime you see property taxes that are under $5,000. Remember, taxes are divided by 12, and that's going to automatically be enrolled inside of your monthly mortgage payment. That said, obviously, the lower the taxes, the lower your payment, the higher the taxes, the higher your payment. But again, anytime you got questions, make sure you ask your realtor, ask your lender, make sure you double check these things before considering the home. And the last thing that you guys want to go over and consider before you make your final decision on a home is going to be the overall compromise list. Are you happy with the property? Do you feel that you're getting everything or most of everything that you would want in a property? For some people, a school district is high on the list. For some people, the area in general is high up on the list. For some people, it could be bedroom count, bathroom count. Does it have a basement? Does it have a garage? I want the backyard. How are the neighbors? All of that is going to play a major role. Obviously, payment is going to be a part of that as well, too. as long as you feel that you're not compromising on too much, because you're going to have to compromise, guys. That's just how things are going to go. Now, for all of you, that may not be the case, but for many of you, I promise you that's going to end up being the case. And that's normal. You're not going to get everything that you want, but you're going to have to make sure that you can at least control anything that you can. For example, we have the basement, right? Yeah, it's not finished, but at least when you do finish it, it's going to be exactly how you want it to be, okay? And that could be as an example. But as long as you feel that you're not compromising too much overall, you should be just fine. All right, guys, thanks again for watching this video. Of course, if you like this video, like it. If you want to share it, share it. And as always, be sure to subscribe, as we have nothing but great content well on the way. Thank you guys so much. See you guys in the next video.